I got scouted by a Premier League scout, and today we're going to go through the full scouting report. We're going to make a training session based on my weaknesses that he said are a priority. And finally, at the end of the video, you can find out how you can get yourself scouted by some of the best professional scouts in the world. Okay, so we now have the scouting report. It's been done by a scout from Arsenal, which is really, really cool. And we're gonna take a look at it to see what we need to work on and what were the highlights that we didn't do during that game, what were the good things we did and what were the bad things. On the pitch, I was in the midfield, I was number 7, I got a score of 81, and I've got 5 priorities to work on. My main attributes were long passing and shielding the ball, those were my strengths. And my recommended role model is Martin Ødegaard, which is something really useful to know because we can look at him and analyse his game. So my score was 81 and that's out of 120, so I'd say that I'm fairly happy with that. If we're looking at the report here, as you can see, we've got all the attributes down the side and then we've got 5 priorities here in red. And if I scroll down in the report, we've got all the match instances in which I was involved. And if we go to the next page, we've got a comment on physical, mental, tactical and technical and what we need to work on, positives and negatives. And then finally, on the last slide, we have the advice, which is what I'm going to use in order to train to become a better footballer. I'm fairly happy with that report, however we've got 5 priorities that we've got to work on to make ourselves a better footballer. So after reading this advice, I've got 4 things that I'm mainly going to focus on. Firstly, I need to get physically stronger and be quicker at accelerating. My mental improvement is crucial. I need to work on my confidence on the ball and in front of goal. Technically, I need to work on my finishing. Tactically, I need to work on understanding my role on the pitch, what I need to do in all situations, whether I attack, whether I defend, and I need to watch more football. I managed to get my hands on this scouting report all thanks to OFN, Orange Football Network. And if you stick along to the end of the video, I can tell you how you guys can get your hands on your own scouting report by a professional scout. So, ready to get to work straight away. The scout wants me to be faster and stronger so I win more of these battles in the midfield. So let's get to the gym and work on these. So as the scout said, we want to work on our strength, but also our acceleration and sprint speed as well. So what we're going to do is start off this session with some plyometrics. As you can see, we got in a warm-up and then we're focusing on jumping and producing power through those legs. Now these plyometric sessions, if you don't know, get to know. They are brilliant for footballers. They're so underrated. Since I've started doing them, my explosiveness has just increased tenfold, and I really think you'll see a massive difference on the pitch when you start training this way. Plyometrics work to strengthen the muscles, ligaments and the movements that you would specifically use in a football match in order to jump, sprint, accelerate and decelerate. And it is so important to do these as footballers because not only will they make you faster, stronger, jump higher, they also decrease the risk of injury as well because your body is used to those movements. I didn't forget that the scout also wanted me to get stronger, be more physical and more aggressive on the pitch, so I decided to finish my session off with some upper body strength work. We did press ups, we did pull ups and we did dips. I did a total of 100 press ups, 50 pull ups and 50 dips. I'm going to be doing these 3 exercises more often because they are compound movements, which means they work more than one muscle group at once, and this is great for footballers. When I returned, I decided to take the scout's advice and watch some Martin Ødegaard, and I was absolutely astounded at how good he was. So after this, I decided to watch some of his matches and take notes to see what I could do to copy him. Then after that, I decided to analyse my own games in order to try and understand what I need to do in order to take myself to the next level. After rewatching the footage, it was clear to see long balls were a strength of mine. I decided to analyse some of the weaknesses that the scout said I needed to work on. Here you can see my awareness isn't up to scratch because I should scan before I pass.
Once again, there's an option to scan here and turn out rather than pass into the congestion, and I should be checking my shoulders here. This clip highlights the finishing and the confidence I need in front of goal. As you can see, I've got a good chance, but I should be putting it in that far corner rather than hitting it near post, and in this case it actually ended up at the keeper. And this last negative example again of us not looking at our surroundings. However, before you guys go thinking I'm the worst footballer to ever exist, I want to highlight some good clips as well, because I think it's important to show that we are also performing to a decent level and that we have positives and that you can take confidence from those so that you don't get too focused on the bad things about your game. As a footballer, you want to work on both your strengths and your weaknesses, so analyse both of these and then you can find out how to prioritise your training to fit these in. So with all this new knowledge and analysis, I planned a perfect training session for the next day, and we headed on out to the pitch to get in the best training session ever. You know, the weather was set up perfectly, typical England, but who doesn't love a bit of football in the rain? Now before our session, the most important thing is to warm up properly. I'm recently recovering from a major knee surgery, and so warm-ups are a major importance. I made sure to do a range of dynamic stretches and running to make sure the blood was flowing to the limbs and we were ready for this session. And finally, I finished it off with a couple of sprints. Now to start our session, we started off light with a couple of passes against the wall just to get ready and get a feel for the ball. These first few touches are important just to get us a feel for the football before we start working on the important stuff.
Bruh, look at this dude. Ah, look at the top of his head.
Finishing off our ball warm up with a little bit of keep up with the wall before moving into the main core of our session. So the main focus that the scout said we had to work on was awareness. So I've incorporated a lot of drills that involve scanning over the shoulders and checking what's behind us whilst we're passing. So this first one is a simple pass, scan, push the ball out, Cruyff, and do it again on the other side. Now moving into the next drill, this is a more complex version of the previous one. We're going to be using 3 walls here. We're going to be running around in the middle. We're going to pass it against the wall, obviously scan, and we're going to use any sort of turn that comes naturally and pass it against the next wall, either to my left, to my right, behind me, etc. Both those drills took me roughly 15 to 20 minutes to complete, so we decided to finish off with a final set of drills which focus on finishing, which is something that the scout wanted me to improve on. So this drill involves a pass against the wall, a scan over the shoulder to check our surroundings before a push out and a shot, and we're either aiming for the near post or the far corner, but we're trying to get it either side of the goal, not down the middle. We practiced this with both feet, which is what you should do, and as you can see we started off poorly on both feet, and as we took more shots we got more accurate.
Oh, sent to the shops, bought a Freddo and a pack of crisps there.
We spent 15 minutes taking shots on each foot to make sure that they both got the same amount of improvement, and after that we decided to call it a day, head home and tell you lot how you can get scouted by a professional scout.
A massive thank you to OFN Orange Football Network for the scouting report. You guys that want to get your own games analysed and scouted, check out the top link in the description and you guys can potentially get yourselves scouted by one of the top professional scouts in the world. Once again, that's all down to OFN, so a massive thank you to them. Make sure you guys go check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, back into the kind of football content that we've been looking for, and I was very happy.